A German general stands in a quiet American field, surrounded not by enemies but by order. His iron cross catches the spring sunlight, polished out of habit, not pride. Around him, American soldiers observe without hatred, without triumph. It is May 1945, Fort Meade, Maryland. For the first time in his life, Major General Friedrich Kesler is not in command of anything. Not men, not machines, not even his own future. 3 weeks earlier, in Bavaria, his world collapsed. On May 8, 1945, the 3rd Panzer Division ceased to exist. What remained of it stood scattered across muddy roads and shattered villages, fuel gone, ammunition expended, discipline eroded by hunger and exhaustion. Friedrich Kesler stood beside his staff car and watched American infantry advance in clean formations, rifles steady, movements calm and professional. This was not the desperate chaos of the Eastern Front. This was methodical finality. He unbuckled his sidearm. The leather creaked as the weight left his hip. 23 years of service ended in that single motion. He had entered the army at 18, a product of Prussian discipline and post-World War I humiliation, trained to believe that obedience was virtue and doubt was weakness. He had fought in Poland, in France, in Russia, in Normandy. He had watched cities burn and men die by the thousands. And now, against explicit orders, he surrendered. Hitler's last directives had been clear. No retreat. No capitulation. Death before dishonor. Kesler disobeyed. 2,000 men under his command would live because of it. He expected execution. A firing squad in a forest. A summary judgment. Instead, an American captain approached him, young, efficient, eyes empty of hatred. Your name and rank? Major General Friedrich Kesler. 3rd Panzer Division. The captain checked a clipboard. High-value prisoner. You're going to the United States. Across the Atlantic. The phrase struck harder than any artillery barrage. America was not a battlefield in his mind. It was an abstraction, factories, bombers, endless resources. A place that crushed Germany without ever needing to be seen. 11 days later, he stood on the deck of a transport ship watching Europe disappear into grey water. He was 47 years old. A professional soldier since adolescence. Decorated, respected, now irrelevant. The ocean stretched endlessly ahead. He had no idea that everything he believed was about to be dismantled piece by piece. Fort Meade did not look like a prison. The camp spread across manicured land, white barracks aligned with geometric precision. Guard towers stood at regular intervals, but no searchlight swept the night, no machine guns tracked movement. Guards smoked, talked, laughed. The rules were strict, but not cruel. Kesler received clean clothes, medical examinations, and a booklet titled Camp Regulations and Educational Program. Educational Program. That night, he lay on a steel cot beneath electric lights, listening to the unfamiliar silence of safety. No shelling. No engines. No screaming wounded. Just grass and wind through Maryland trees. A colonel in the next bunk whispered that the food was real, that meals came 3 times a day, that coffee had sugar. Kesler didn't respond. He remembered Soviet prisoners behind barbed wire, skeletal and dying, explained away as logistical necessity. Priorities, his officers had said. War demands choices. Those justifications felt thin now. The next morning, he ate eggs and bacon served on ceramic plates. At 0800 hours, he entered a theater with 200 other German officers. The lights dimmed. A film began. Trains. Cattle cars. Faces pressed against wooden slats. A gate. Albeit marked Fry. What followed dismantled him. Bodies stacked like lumber. Children ripped from parents. gas chambers engineered for efficiency, crematoria operating around the clock, numbers spoken without emotion, millions murdered not in battle but by design. Kesler had known rumors. Everyone had. But rumor allows distance. Film removes it. When the lights came back on, no one spoke. "This is what you served," the American major said calmly. "Not honor. Not civilization. This." There was no accusation in his voice. That made it worse. From that day forward, the camp became something else entirely. Not punishment. Confrontation. Lectures dismantled the myths Kesler had lived inside. The Weimar Republic was not weak by nature, it had been strangled deliberately. Hitler had risen legally, step by step, aided by institutions that failed to resist. The army had sworn loyalty not to a constitution but to a man. Kesler read books banned in Germany. Thomas Mann. Remarque. Feuchtwanger. Writers who had warned, who had fled, who had been right. He read American newspapers that criticized their own government openly. No propaganda ministry. No unified narrative. Chaos, and yet strength. The contradiction disturbed him. Debates followed. Officers argued obedience. Professors argued responsibility. One statement lodged permanently in Kesler's mind: technical excellence without moral judgment is barbarism in uniform. That night, he wrote for the first time, "I served criminals who hijacked my country." Winter came. The camp was warm. Letters arrived from Germany describing rubble and hunger. Kesler walked the perimeter at night, staring at unlit guard towers, trying to understand why the enemy he had been taught to hate treated him with restraint. The realization came slowly and painfully. Dictatorships require obedience. Democracies require thought. Germany had trained obedience perfectly. By 1946, the Americans changed the program. They no longer asked what had gone wrong. They asked what should replace it. Cold War tensions were rising. The Soviet Union loomed. A new Germany would need defense, but not the kind it had before. How do you design an army that cannot overthrow democracy? An American professor asked. Silence. Then Kesler spoke. Make the soldier a citizen first. The word surprised even him. He explained. No oaths to individuals. Allegiance to law. Rights alongside duties. Education in ethics and constitutional limits. Parliamentary control. The right to refuse illegal orders. A weak army is dangerous, others argued. No, Kesler replied. A strong army without conscience is. From prisoner to advisor, the transition was gradual but real. Kesler worked on concepts that would later define the Bundeswehr, Innere Führung. The citizen in uniform. Moral responsibility embedded into command. He refused rank. Refused uniform. Returned to Germany as a civilian. When the Bundeswehr was founded in 1955, Kesler stood among the crowd. Young soldiers swore allegiance not to power but to freedom and law. He did not salute. His work continued quietly. Writing. Teaching. Warning. He never asked for forgiveness. He didn't believe he deserved it. When asked late in life what he had learned, he answered simply, obedience without conscience enables evil. Friedrich Kesler died without honors. No medals. No ranks. Only a grave marker with 4 words he chose himself. Never again obedience. Always conscience.